What up? Welcome to the Two Random Dudes podcast.
That's right.
We are on episode 28. We have a special guest today.
Super fan.
Yeah.
Our friend Greg. Say hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Yo.
So he's all the way from Florida.
Florida, right?
Yeah, I went to a high school with him, and he really enjoys the podcast. So we said, hey, you know what? We'll get him on.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a few good perspectives, and we can talk about a couple different topics. And, you know, if you have any questions, you know how to reach me. Just tweet me. Call me Gio.
What's your Twitter handle?
I gotta make sure. I think it's Tackleberry343 if I remember.
What is your most active social media? Are you more like Facebook, IG,
Yeah,
Snapchat, Instagram, IG, the Gram, or Insta? Which one do you use?
yeah, probably. I say Instagram. That's medium speed some drag, all one word.
Wait, are you single too?
I am single now. Yeah.
Okay, so all the hot chicks that are listening, no, I'm kidding. Hit up Greg. He's available. What part of Florida are you in?
Right now, Orlando.
Orlando, nice. So you probably get a ton of like tourists that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the city of Orlando is kind of like about 20 minutes, half an hour from like all the Disney and Universal and all that. So, I mean, they usually stay that way. You know, Orlando itself is actually a pretty cool city, believe it or not.
No, I love Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Florida. I mean, shit, if it wasn't for like the fact that we have so many friends and family here, I would probably figure a way to get down there. And it would probably be the Orlando area.
Yeah.
Because Orlando, Boca, around that area.
Well, Boca is kind of far, but
what I'm saying is like,
sure,
those parts of Florida are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Certain parts of it are not as mainstream as others, and not to mention all of it is within a decent drive to Disney, which I would imagine you probably don't even go once a year.
Not anymore. I used to have a pass, and I used to go all the time, but yeah, I don't go anymore because it's just so expensive. Because even when you have a pass, you're still dropping $200 a day, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we just jump right into it. Why don't we like take it slow, start from the beginning? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us a second recap. No, I'm just kidding.
30 second elevator pitch about who you are, why you're single.
The first thing he wants to know is about single, sex life. He doesn't even like tell, you know.
He's the one that said he was single.
Well,
you asked
him. Yeah, but he said it.
He's just so used to asking guys if they're single.
Yes,
pretty much.
Tell me about your sex life. What's your favorite position?
And then I get you to talk about your shirt. Really, I just wanted you to take it off.
Yeah.
Kind of give me the crotch. So.
Okay, tell us.
Tell us your story.
Tell us about you.
Well, I moved here.
And that's all the time we have, guys. We'll see you next week. And no, just go ahead.
No, I mean, I moved here to Florida a long time ago, probably like 13, 14 years ago now, actually. I moved here for a girl who I'm not with anymore, obviously. Shortly after getting here, I became a cop. I worked for the Coe Police Department for 10 years, and then I worked after that at Brevard County Sheriff's Office. And I did 2.5 years of undercover narcotics. I did like under 2 years of SWAT. That was pretty fun.
What the craziest shit you've seen?
That's it. He's basically cutting you off. You can't talk about yourself anymore.
No, but I don't want to skip this part. So
it's crazy, man. It's such a hard question. People ask that. I mean, because you see some messed up stuff. I mean, when I was undercover, we saw some pretty crazy stuff, especially when we did the prostitution details. There were some colorful characters, you know. It's crazy but sad when we saw it was like a 15-year-old girl walk in. You know, she's saying she was like, yeah, exactly. She's saying she was 18, and we walk, trying to get her to, and then all of a sudden I was like, somebody call somebody. This is a child. Somebody please call somebody. Like crap. And yeah, she was actually she was being trafficked from she was from Atlanta, Georgia. So I'd say that's the craziest that, you know, I mean, other than like, you know, car wrecks and all that kind of stuff and people shot. I mean,
When
that's
you
not really
say, like,
crazy.
trafficked, what is that? I mean, obviously know what it means, but I think it means like some kids from some third world countries that don't have money, and they get stolen and then come here, and then, you know, they.
Well, that's the thing. It's very prevalent here. People don't even realize it, because what they'll do to a lot of these girls, especially in Orlando, they'll take people who are on vacation, like young people, and they'll, you know, snatch them up. The parents will either say they're missing or whatever, or just, you know, they don't care enough about them. They'll kind of gain their trust and all that stuff, and act like they're going to be their best friend, or, you know, they're going to be their lover or whatever. And they'll either get them hooked on drugs right away, or they'll basically take them to a place where they don't know where they are. They have no money. They have no way to get back. They make them have sex with strangers or whatever. And then they'll make them feel bad about doing that. And they'll say like, oh, they don't want you now because you're a whore. And now they're too afraid to go anywhere. And they said, well, if you leave, I'll kill you and your whole family. And it's crazy. I mean, it's so prevalent. I mean, people need to realize it. And that's what a lot of people, they say, oh, prostitution's a victimless crime. It's not, because it's like 40% of them are not there on their own free will, you know? So you know,
if they are on their free will, then you're okay with it and you let them go?
No, I mean, we still take them to jail and everything like that.
Oh, it's not legal in this country, anyways. It's not legal.
Well, I mean, certain places there is, like was it? Yeah. Well, I mean, even I think it's Reno. Yeah, Reno's.
Yeah. The Bunny Ranch, is that what it's called?
Bunny Ranch.
How
Yeah,
often do you shoot at people or get shot at?
I mean, it's not that often. I mean, I've gotten shot once, and that was 2009.
One time. Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? Well, how'd you get shot?
Bad guy. Like, basically, long story short, you know, I was on another call, a completely benign call. It was like a parking complaint or something. And then I heard some gunshots. I wasn't sure if they were gunshots or fireworks. I went to investigate, looked, and I saw some kid running. He ran behind a building. I ran after him. As soon as I turned the corner, he started shooting at me. And
it was a kid?
Yeah, he was 17 years old. Yeah, so yeah, he shot me under the ankle, out the bottom of my heel.
His aim was that bad?
Yeah, I think that was probably usually what bad guys do. That's their first shot. They just go bing, 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 like kind of zipper you. So, so yeah, it's yeah. Thank God bad guys can't shoot. So, so yeah, I chased him down and called him and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I got awards for that kind of stuff. But I mean that day. But yeah, I just thank God I was alive. You know, thank God he can't shoot. So, but
right,
yeah,
so
I mean,
you said you got shot in the heel, right?
Yeah.
So like, what was the extent of the injury?
I didn't actually know for half an hour. It was basically, it was a little 380 round. So it basically, and it wasn't like a hollow point. So it just kind of zipped on through. And it actually, I didn't even know it was shot, because it actually, where it went in my boot, I couldn't tell. It was like right where the webbing meet the leather. And then it went out the bottoms, which the rubber flapped back over. So when I was looking at my boot, I was like, man, my heel hurts, but I don't know what that is. I thought I chipped a bone or something like that, you know? And then all of a sudden, you know, then my sergeant's like, hey, go get checked out by the EMS. And they checked me out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm shot in the foot. So, yeah.
Was there blood?
No. It was just so through and through that it was just like, I mean, it was like a little tiny bit, but like, I guess it was so hot, it just cauterized itself as it went through. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hurt like a son of a bitch after, but you know, yeah, I didn't even know for like a half an hour because my adrenaline was so high, you know?
Yeah. It reminds me of when I fell off that electric skateboard, and I really messed up my shoulder. The funny thing was, I didn't realize that my shoulder was that bad. I actually got up. All I thought about was, I thought about the condition of my laptop and my drone and my camera, because they were all in my book bag. I was like, hope everything's all right. And then I get up, and then I go to like feel the extent of my injury, and I'm like, wait a second. And even right now, it still doesn't feel quote unquote normal. But once your adrenaline is in you, and it's you get that little high. You're just like, it doesn't even matter. I could probably get punched in the face of like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. If your adrenaline's high enough, but yeah, human body is crazy. Because I even like, everybody thought like, everybody was asking if my ears were ringing because I was shooting back at the guy, and I didn't hear. I mean, my ears weren't ringing at all because auditory exclusion.
Did you kill him?
No, he actually smashed himself through a plate glass door, like a patio door, and he was cut up so bad they weren't even sure if I actually hit him or not. So it was like, they were like, well, we could do ballistics test, and I was like, please don't do that. Don't waste taxpayer money. I don't care. I was like,
So we have
I'm alive. He's alive. He was in prison. I don't care. Fine.
We've got a live chat coming in. Someone criticizing Jin. How do you compare getting shot to falling off of a skateboard?
So it's totally
pretty close.
I'll explain it, okay? I'll explain it. About adrenaline, that's all it was. But I will say, him, like you said, Greg was like, oh, I didn't even realize it. Well, yeah, same thing. I didn't realize that my shoulder was practically broken. The bone was like sticking out and everything. As a matter of fact, you can probably still see it. It's still just like right there sticking out. So
yeah, one time, like a guy bumped into me when he's walking past. It was really hard though, but it's probably like.
How was your adrenaline though?
Adrenaline was like, "Woo!" He bumped into me.
Ooh, yeah. So you were talking like Macho Man?
Ooh, snap into a Slim Jim. And that's what we do on this podcast.
Yeah, totally.
As you can see, we both got haircuts today. We're trying to like match each other.
My new haircut.
Very.
We prepared for you. We want to impress you. We're doing our dance, our mating call.
That's not the mating call. But so it was funny. I went to Gio's barber today, right? Just like, yeah, let me give it a shot, right? So I go to him. I'm like, yo, listen, I want a new hairstyle. I'm like, I'm at a new barber. Why not just take a chance on a new hairstyle? Because he's probably not going to know how to cut my hair anyways. And he says to me, no, you look good. I'm like, come on, give me something different. I'm like, bro, give me something, mohawk, shave this side, do something like that. You look good. You look good.
Was he Italian? He's Dominican.
My accent, whether it be Italian, English, Chinese, they're all about the same.
Yeah. It's like an Asian Italian there. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. What's the next topic?
So I know that. I mean, why don't we start with? Do you have any comments? I know you listen. What do you think? Is there something that you want to talk about? Is there something you want to comment on? You want to give us feedback? I know you love Trump and Jen doesn't.
Who says I didn't? He's a freaking stable genius. Are you kidding me?
Nah.
1 pound away from being obese, but yet he's fit to be our president. So why would I?
I don't really care. I mean, look at Chris. People voted for Chris Christie. I mean,
Yeah, but so many people are happy. Archer. And did you see the way that Murphy stepped into office?
Happy with
he was like,
anybody.
oh yeah. He was like, thanks, man.
There's always going to be somebody hating them. So
no, I mean,
it's not about, oh, look at how many people hate them. Like, there's always people hating.
Okay, listen, I'm not hating on Trump. I do support some of his ideology, right? Overwhelming amount of people that really dislike him. I'm talking about from media to like my friends, family, probably to your friends and family. As a matter of fact, publicize that you're a Trump supporter, you would get a lot more hatred for that.
Exactly. Which is terrible.
Yeah. So, but again, I'm not trying to be political. I try not to be political.
Well,
throws me in there.
Of course, I don't agree with everything he says in that. I wish somebody would steal his cell phone or delete his Twitter account. He drives me freaking crazy. But,
do you follow his Twitter?
Yeah, it's sometimes it's entertaining, but I mean, if you look on the other side of it, I like that, because it's one thing Obama said he was a man of the people and all that kind of stuff. Yet we hardly ever heard from the guy unless it was to criticize somebody. Now we have a guy actually giving his actual, exactly what's on Trump's mind. So if you look at it from a positive standpoint, you know what you're getting. He's very transparent. That's one thing I do like about him, because you already kind of know what you're getting. You know where he's coming from. I mean, he does some
not really
stuff.
Not really. Because if you ask him for a certain like stance or a certain opinion, the Trump answer is, we'll see about that or something. Is that what he says? Usually he says something like,
well, that's President
or something like that. He's very vague with the way he answers the media.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the economy is better than it's been, and I can't even tell you how long.
And that scares the shit out of me. You know what scares the shit out of me? The fact that he's fat. No, I'm kidding. No, it scares the shit out of me that we were like, oh, I don't know about 24,000. 24,000 hit. 25,000, no way. Now we just touched 26,000. We're like, holy shit.
It doesn't matter if it was the other way or if it was stable. You'd be saying something like, "Oh, you know, it hasn't moved. What the hell?" So, not only you, but everybody's always going to find something to say.
Oh, yeah. And of course,
and in the chat, we want to hear about Jin's life.
No. We have a special guest on. I hear about my life when there's a special guest.
I agree. I think we always talk about everybody else and not about you as much. And then the second comment was, I want to know the reason for not liking Trump, not because he's fat. What's like the legit reason? So like,
for one, the way he is, with the way that he communicates, bit of a concern, right? Okay, so I'm not sure if he used that word, right? Was it shithole countries or whatever it was? You got to be a little bit alarmed when you have our president using profanity and to like call out a certain in that manner.
Oh yeah, I agree on that.
Would you say that
I don't think he should say that. I don't think he should say that. But it was in a closed door meeting to other, politicians or whatever, the senators, or whatever. And also, there was two senators that came out and said that he said it, and they've both since retracted and said, well, maybe he didn't say shithole. He said, so in other words, he didn't really say it. Yes, he shouldn't have said it. Whatever, even if it was close, he shouldn't still talk about other countries like that because, there's a lot of great people that come from him. But I get what he was saying. See, the thing is, what he was saying is, why are we only getting people from,
shithole countries?
Yeah, exactly. Haiti and all that kind of stuff.
We can say because we're average citizens.
Yeah, when we're trying to grow our country.
All these other countries, Haiti and whatever, even all these devastating things that happen, whether it's a volcano or a tornado or hurricane, and they're not able to live there, and we take them into the country.
Right.
That after 2 years, 20 years, whatever it is, that they finally go away. It's like, okay, time to move back to your country. Why don't they want it? Because they have a life here? Is it because it's better here?
Well, of course.
Dreamers? And now we're talking about dreamers? And that entire thing?
DACA? Yeah. No, I mean, even after that, there was some countries like Haiti and stuff.
Should we really be talking about Trump when we have a special guest and he's probably got a lot more to
wants to talk about Trump and our listeners want to talk about it. Do you guys?
It's fine. Yeah, I mean,
Greg, what do you want to talk about?
Well, one thing I do love about Trump, to go back to law enforcement, is he's.
Wait, what'd you say, Greg?
I mean, he supports law enforcement so much, and even the military too. I mean, it's a refreshing thing. I was pacing back and forth, worried that Hillary Clinton was going to become president, and she hates law enforcement. I mean, she treated Secret Service like garbage. She treated them like dogs. She was ready to cut every single piece of funding we have for any law enforcement, any government funding.
Are you still there?
If you can hear us, you're coming back in.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Can you hear me now? All right, so I guess it was the internet or something. But yeah, I mean, it's refreshing to have somebody support you, because we went through 8 years of somebody who constantly criticized, and I mean, he turned everybody, Obama, he turned everybody against us. I mean, can you remember a time where people hated cops more, or there was more racially divided, society? I mean, Obama, you remember with the Rutgers cop, what was it, 6 months into his presidency, he called that sergeant stupid. Excuse me, if I was that cop showing up to a house where there's like a burglary alarm. The guy's feet are dangling out the window. Yeah, I'm going to ask for his ID. You know, it's not a crazy thing. And then, you know, so, but now we have somebody who's going out of his way to shake hands and treat us with respect. And it's very refreshing. So,
yeah, that's always was a thing on social media that I would see, especially on Greg's page. You know, a lot of the stuff when it was coming up, you would always be like having to argue, right, the cop side. And it's like, are there stupid cops? Yes. Are there bad cops? Yes. You know, that happens anywhere, whether you buy a product or you can have faulty products you have to return. Yes. Or lemons that you buy. Yes. So that's going to happen anywhere. And people like don't realize that. They automatically think like that they're superhuman and they should be set to times mistakes happen. But in the heat of the moment, you have to make a judgment. Like as a cop,
sure,
you know, go out and put yourself in front of this danger and then make these split under a ton of pressure that people don't understand. Like you throw these people in the same situation, you'll see them crack. So I used to see these posts all the time and people agree with you. Sometimes people are like, you know, fighting with you. And I'm like, Greg, you know, I know where you're coming from, but it's sometimes that you can't argue with stupid.
Oh,
you know, it's terrible.
I've pretty much given up on that. I just end up ignoring half of it. A lot of times I'll leave. Maybe I'll share an article and I won't even comment on it because it's just not even worth the argument. It's just seriously.
The thing is, you of all people, it's going to be difficult for you to comment, especially since you're so one-sided on certain issues. I'm trying to be very vague here. The fact that you're a cop, you're white, and you're a Trump supporter. Those variables.
Why does it always have to be the Trump supporter?
Well, see,
I mean, like,
there's a difference because even there's the people who hate Trump. They even when he does something good, they still can't even it can't even compute in their head. When Obama did something good, if you go you look at my social media page, I've shared things that Obama did good, and I was like, hey man, thank you, you know, thank you for doing this. And if I saw Obama, as much as I disliked the way he was, I would still respect him. I wouldn't hold up a sign that said those people holding up signs rape Melania. Like, I mean, come on.
I agree with you on that.
This is like the Android Apple debate that I always go through. It's the same thing. It's like you're not arguing apples and oranges. It's crazy.
No.
A comment, Blue Lives Matter. We love you, Greg.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You got some support.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
so speaking of the movement, I'm kidding. I'm not going to the whole entire Black Lives Matter. Let's get away from politics and talk about something that really matters.
Oh God, what's your sex life like, Greg?
Right now, it's non-existent.
I was gonna talk about my necklace.
No.
I'm being dead serious.
This is exactly where this comment comes from. Jin dodges all the questions. It's
dodging questions.
Talk about Trump.
No, we talked about Trump.
Okay,
I want to talk about my necklace.
Okay.
This is a mala yoga thing, and it's been like pretty special to me. There's a funny story. I think I even told about it on the podcast.
But you got it fixed.
I got it fixed. That's the point.
Legit or
no? Legit. I got a hold of the lady that sold it, and she said she was gonna restring it, and everything costs.
No, you told me. I know.
No, it was more because I had to ship, and then I had to pay her to ship back, and then there were taxes and then processing fee. I'm like, really? She was better off buying a new one, to be honest. But what's I'm sure there's a saying here. What is it like? Something instead of buying a new one, why throw it away or whatever. There's some like smart saying there. I just can't think of it right now.
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, fixing something, if it's got sentimental value, sometimes it's worth the money, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I love it because of the way it looks, but I do feel like there's been certain moments that have been attached to this necklace. So I'm hoping that this will just kind of continue to do its thing, you know?
Yeah, sounds good.
Come on, Jin. We want to hear what's in your head.
What are you talking about, Maria? It's not even your real name, is it, Maria?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, is it? It's not Katrina?
Well, it's
like Maria Katrina.
Yeah, they're all named Maria. She has a lot of siblings. They're all named Maria. So,
Oy.
oh.
But go ahead, Katrina. I mean Maria, whatever you like to be called.
Ask Jin. We'll answer it.
Yeah, I don't like how this is like. I'm not the special guest. Greg is. Why the hell are you asking about me?
I bet you Greg has no problem. What do you want to hear about,
Greg? What do you want to hear about? What do you want to talk about?
What I want to hear about? I don't know. I mean, well, I mean, if you don't mind me just talking about a charity real quick, is that okay?
Sure. Are you gonna plug something?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, let's plug away.
All right, well, my hat is for the Wounded Officers Initiative. A lot of people, they say, hey, when a cop gets killed and all that kind of stuff, people are sad about it and they'll share it and all that kind of stuff. And there's, things for that. But a lot of people forget about the cops who are injured, either, critically or whatever. Because a lot of times when you see it in the news, they'll say non-life-threatening injuries. Yeah, that's great. He might have lost both legs. Now he can't work. He can't do anything. And, and that happens quite often. What's that?
Isn't there a pension or some type of system that's set up for the police that get hurt?
Now that they just passed some legislation, thank God, actually the Wounded Officers Initiative helped put it through to help that. But a lot of times departments will say like you get hit by a car or something like that while you're doing a traffic stop. They'll say, well, you weren't wearing your traffic vest, so we're not covering you. That's against our policy, and you're on.
What?
Yeah, they do it quite often. And they'll leave them high and dry, and now these guys can't work, and they get either hooked on, pain pills or whatever, and, it's just a mess. I mean, some of these guys, their whole lives are just ruined protecting citizens, So it's a great charity. It's worth, because even they're actually on like the Amazon Smile and stuff like that. So, look them up.
That's the one that you had on Facebook, because I know Nikki and I saw it, and we same one, or is this a different one?
My birthday. Yeah. In lieu of a gift, I said contribute to this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they even just started a hotline for it's called the Blue Line Support Group for. I know you guys were talking about suicide on one of the last podcasts. I don't know which was the last one or the one before.
Oh, this guy's listening.
He's on point.
And but it's for first responders who are going through a rough time, because a lot of times they're afraid to go to the departments, because just like in the military, if you go in there and you say, hey, I'm thinking I have suicidal thoughts, they're gonna be like, well, this guy can't do the job anymore. They take your badge, they take your gun, and now you can't do anything. And now you're typecasted or blacklisted. Now they're like, oh, this guy's a risk, and they'll find a way to fire you. And so this way they can talk to another cop who understands what's going on, and hopefully talk them through it. If they're like, no, I'm gonna, as soon as I leave here, I'm gonna blow my head off, then we take them. We have certified health professionals that can help them. But if they're like, hey, I'm beating my wife or something like that, no, we're gonna call the cops and we're gonna have them deal with it accordingly. But for something like, like I said, suicide or just depression or whatever, or, it's like me. I mean, I got blacklisted because, long story short, I turned in a dirty cop one of my last departments, and I was having a rough time.
You cut out a little bit, so you turned in a dirty cop.
Yeah.
What like what he was
over basically when I was narcotics, I got information from two separate sources that one of the administration members, I'm not going to say that his rank, but was doing some major crimes. And
is he still working, that guy? Or
no, he magically retires. Yeah, no, they let him retire. But
with like benefits.
Oh yeah, he's got full retirement. Yeah, and they put me through a investigation, all this kind of stuff, and try to make it like I made the whole thing up. And that's why, when I say a lot of people talk about dirty cops, and like I tell people, I'm like, good cops hate dirty cops more than the average citizen. I can tell you that right now, because they make us all look bad. That old school stuff in the 70s and 80s where, like, hey, don't tell on your brother kind of stuff. No, I can't say it doesn't exist anymore, but it's not as prevalent as people think. I mean, that's like 0.5% of the cops. You know, 99.9% of them are out doing the right thing, doing a good job, and you know, they'll turn each other in if it's, you know, a bad enough crime. Now, if you're late for work or, you know, you're whatever, they find you sleeping somewhere or something like that, they'll wake you up. They're not going to turn you in for that unless they're a douche. But no, it's what's that? You cut out for a second.
Yeah, no, I get you. It's different. Back in the day, it was like that. But, you know, like we said in the beginning, there's always bad out there.
Yeah. And that's when people always ask me about the body cameras. Now, I'm for body cameras, as long as I wish there was a separate entity that would take that information and hold it somewhere and not let administration.
The cops be in control of it.
Yeah, because now
black out what they want.
Well, not even that. Like now, my old department, my buddy was telling me that the deputy chief sits at her desk all day long, watches the body camera footage, and checks policy. I mean, can you imagine if your boss literally walked around with you every second of your day and and looked over your shoulder? You know,
even when you're going to the bathroom.
Yeah, maybe if you were on like appropriation or something, that would make sense, but not for everybody every day.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a complaint or something like that, or yeah, if there was something like fishy or something like that, then yeah, you go and pull it and stuff like that. But to go through every single traffic stop, every time you talk to somebody, every single time, that's ridiculous. You know, we're human beings, and until we can get robots to do the job, yeah, you're gonna have, you know, you occasionally you let a curse word fly or something like that, or you know, you tell somebody to, you know, dude, I'm not gonna have.
If you curse in front of the wrong person, like a civilian or something like that, you're gonna hear from it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say there's some things that. So something in the news, like speaking about people being so or politically correct, right? There was this ad.
Oh,
I think it was in South Africa. It was like
something monkey.
Yeah. So a black kid was wearing a shirt.
Oh God!
Monkey in the jungle.
Yeah, God.
Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, that was that.
So it blew up. There was protests in front of the store.
It's still going on.
They were knocking down racks.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They shut down the store, and they were talking. You know, this protest group were saying this is not the first step. It's gonna get worse, and it's like, you know, it wasn't even, you know, maybe it was a mistake. Obviously, it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't meant to escalate it, and there's like actual, you know, going on. It's just crazy. It's, you say really it to the wrong person.
Yeah, who did they hurt? Because now all those employees that are making freaking $9-10 an hour, now they can't work. They got to go home. They're not getting paid. Maybe they even got injured, or they have to clean it up. And the corporate company, maybe they lose a couple thousand.
The marketing team, just
well, it's hurt their image and their brand. So as a whole, the company is.
Or did it maybe bring them into the news and give them free publicity? I mean,
yeah, but it's negative publicity.
It's not their. It's not. Yeah, but negative is like, what is hey? No news could be good news, because it's like, it's not that they were trying to be racist. They had other kids with different sayings and different shirts on, and it was all a jungle theme with animals and.
But you know what though? You can see how that could be a negative manner. As a matter of fact, I remember
you could see how anything could be hold on. Perceived in a negative manner.
No, not anything. Well,
no,
you're drinking a blue cup.
You're
drinking out of a blue cup. How's that? What are you? You're blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No.
You
hold on.
Turn anything negative.
Okay. Do you remember when Jeremy Lin was like really good, bad for like a, and there was a reporter that wrote a chink in the armor, which is a saying.
A kink in the armor.
No, it's a chink.
Chink, I thought.
No, it's actually
Chains or chink.
Chink is a Chinese.
No, the saying is that a chink in the armor.
I thought it was kink.
Yeah, but
Let's look it up.
Look up chink in the armor.
I think
it's a saying.
Greg was right. And a chink is the like a actual what do you call it? A chain.
Okay, let's type it. So
Gio for once is gonna get
in the. Can you see my screen, Greg?
No.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not saying that a chink in the armor isn't a part of it, but
chink in one's armor. The idiom "chink in one's armor" refers to
area of vulnerability. That's all it is.
So is it pronounced? Actually, look, they're showing Jeremy.
It's exactly like it is.
Look, chink versus kink, grammarist. A screen, Greg, or
you
no?
can use both.
Yeah,
but either way.
I can't hear Greg.
Now, well, they should be definitely be more careful when they phrase things and stuff like that. But to go absolutely bananas on some of these people, it's just, if they've apologized and all that kind of stuff, come on, man. Like, the guy really meant to do that. I mean, give me a break.
Whoa. Are you saying he didn't mean to do that? I'm just, playing the other side.
I don't know the writer. I would see. I'm on the other side. I usually just assume they don't. So I don't assume everybody's racist.
Can I just say?
Hold on, Gio.
Jin was right. See, we have to look it up. We have to be sure. Our listeners need to know. So chink versus kink, at least by this website, the Grammarist, that chink does refer to an hour opening, which also can be used as the slang, right, for a Chinese person. And kink has nothing to do with an opening. It has a flaw in a plan or a curl, but nothing about an opening in an armor. So it logically doesn't make sense. So Jin was right. It is chink, and I guess the reporter used that. And he's completely right saying it, but because he's Chinese, it obviously can get upset because that has that slang.
If you think who's the more racist person, the person that automatically associated an Asian guy with the word chink, or the guy who did it by accident? I mean,
you're assuming
he did it by accident.
You're assuming it was an accident, but let's just reverse it and put it into something that's more your context. Do blue lives really matter when Black Lives Matter should be the more important topic?
Well, people say that all the time. But I think both are true. Here's the thing. It's one thing is when people
all
say
lives matter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people get pissed off when you say that. But that's when they go to me that Black Lives Matter. I'm like, yes, I know that. Why would you assume that I don't think Black Lives Matter? I mean, what I tell people when they scream that in my face, I say, you know what, man? I've probably saved more Black lives in my life than you have.
Let's get something kind of. I'm going to give you my viewpoint on this because understanding of it, the whole entire Black Lives Matter and the whole entire all lives matter. So none of us here are racist. So I know that we all support all lives matter. But I remember losing a Instagram follower due to it because I hashtagged it all lives matter because I wanted everybody to understand that I care for everybody else as a human being.
Sure.
And the whole
racist, Jin, you're such a racist.
Hold on, the whole entire statement there, taking away from the fact that there is institutionalized racism specifically against blacks. So therefore, we should be focusing on the whole entire Black Lives Matter because that should bring about, whether it be change or at least the first stages of talks about change and things like that. Not necessarily the correct or the right thing, but I do acknowledge it as a point that when we say all lives matter, we're understanding that as a whole, all lives do matter. We're saying, yes, all the lives matter. As of right now, the Black Lives Matter is the movement that needs to at least be heard. It should be, the most important thing, but at the same time, it's like, how do I find, or how do we establish, yes, all lives matter. Yes, Black Lives Matter, blue lives matter, yellow lives matter. How do we establish it as a whole so that everybody page with it?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think people just need to straight up get over themselves. Everybody, because that's what, when I pull somebody over, say at night, and I walk up to the car and, say it's like, just for an example, a black woman. I already walk up to the window and I'm just thinking back in my head, crap, because 99 out of times out of 100, this woman's going to give me attitude, and she goes, yes. You know, you're like, whoa, hey, what's going on? I could not tell. 99 times out of 100, I can't even tell who's in the car. You can't even tell if it's male or female. Never mind color or race or gender or anything.
But why? Why?
Because it's tinted windows, or you see the back of a head. A lot of times you're looking at vehicles, you're looking at a lot of different things. You're not pulling up a car over unless it's like for investigative purposes, like it was like a robbery or something like that. Now you're looking for somebody specific. But if you're looking for a traffic, violation, you're looking at the car. You're not looking at the person. If they go through a red light, I'm not like,
unless
hey, person went through a red light.
Shitty cop. Unless if you're a shitty cop that was more abusive of your powers, which certainly there are, I'm sure you would acknowledge that.
But it's very rare. It's very rare. And it's like I said, when I walk up to the car, and it's like most of the time it's just unnecessary, like I said, and it's usually, and a lot of times these encounters go bad because these people, whoever it is at the time,
Greg, oh man,
people who have an attitude. And I've had from every single color, race, gender, everything have all given me attitude. Because
even Asian.
Yeah, I've had Asian guys. I've had people go, like, oh, you put me because I'm Asian. I'm like, that's not even a thing.
Wait, do the accent. Do the accent,
bro. Like who? Like what? Like come on, bro. Like stop. Like no.
I've never used that, but I should.
Yeah. Well. Here's the thing. What's funny is I'm more apt when somebody does that to give them a ticket, because now I'm just in case there's a complaint, I want to make sure I have it,
by the books.
Yeah, like okay, hey, that's where you want to bring it, because I very rarely give out tickets. Very rarely. I'm usually looking for drugs and bad guys and all kinds of stuff. So when you start giving me an attitude and start bringing race or something like that, or like calling me names or something like that, I'm like, okay, well, this might turn into a complaint. So here you go. Because
there's no need to badmouth you being a cop at all. I mean, I'm a little pansy. When I get pulled over, I'm like, oh God, God, what did I do wrong? Because I'm sure if you really look, I probably did something wrong. Like my turn signal is probably out, or like something is not in direct violation, or it is in direct violation because my car might not be like up to like emission standards or something so dumb, or I might have been going over 5 miles an hour. But I hate getting pulled over, not because racistly, is that a word? Being racist and trying to profile me, but I just it, and I'm beyond nice to the police officers, which 9 times out of 10 are actually white, or out of shape, and
yeah. Well, and that's another topic.
I got over years.
Well, I can't
pulled over in probably like 3 to 5 years.
Oh, it's amazing when you don't break the law. Hey, look at that!
And then when you do break the law, you start resisting.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm kidding. All right, listen. Say that there are other perspectives that we can't. We're gonna assume that we're on the other side, and this is our stance on it from the other side. So I can't assume what you go through as a cop. Perception, right? And you can't assume what I go through as an Asian American. Growing up, I was kind of bullied and made fun of and everything like that. I think times have changed now. I think as like my son, who's already he's 6, probably more mixed or minorities than there are white people. So
yeah. Well, it's funny. I love when people call me racist, because I'm like, I didn't really hang out with that many white people in high school. I really didn't. I hang out with Hispanic. Asian.
Greg was a wigger.
Yeah, I mean,
W.
I hung out with mostly black people and Hispanic people, and a couple Asians. I was,
Greg and I. Fun fact: is the breakdance.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Look, if you're watching the video on YouTube, you can see this move right here. I got it down. Comments here. Let's catch up on the chat. We got somebody talking about you can't have about segregation. My dog wants to be in this podcast. And then talking about how, I guess, cultural appropriation, where, you know, only a certain group of people can wear dreads, right? Because like even what was that, the Moana tattoos, right? Like a Samoan, they're not allowed to have those tattoos unless you are, because it's,
well,
and I don't know, that's another topic for a different day, probably.
If you're being respectful of someone's religion or culture, that's different. Dreadlocks is a hairstyle. I'm sorry, you can't get me on that one.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a burqa or something like that, or, you know, like you have a dot.
Like, you're not allowed to get this haircut.
That's
true.
Yeah.
That, like, if you like it, I don't know.
Going out of your way to be disrespectful to somebody, that's not okay. But to have somebody have dreadlocks or something like that, I hate to tell you, man, I guarantee you the cavemen had freaking dreadlocks. And it wasn't only freaking one color, you know, because they didn't wash their hair. And it's, you know what I mean? So you don't get me on with haircuts and stuff. But it's funny is because people who they say they're so tolerant of everybody, but usually those quote unquote tolerant people are the ones who usually go after people and scream at them about whatever it is. I don't care. Like, I can't hear you.
I said I'm pretty tolerant of.
Oh yeah, but you're not like one of those people. Like, well, see, I can tell you one thing. Orlando is very liberal, and there's actually a huge gay population here, and people will get.
Yeah. Hold on, I should move there.
Here come all the
input the gay joke.
Here's the gay jokes. Jin's gonna move there.
But people get angry and just snarling at people. If God forbid if they're wearing a Trump shirt or something like that, you know, forget it. But even if you're just like, you know, some people who are super religious and they're not for gay marriage. Is that right? I don't think so. But that's their right to think how they want, as long as they're not infringing somebody else. But oh my God,
hurting somebody. Oh yeah,
it's a very touchy subject right now because of the way that our parents grew up in their generation. If they're going to church, they were taught that being gay is completely wrong.
Jin, it's okay to be.
Wait, is it really? No, but like in our society now, being gay is not a big deal. You have those two generations kind of like come in and there's conflict. You know, I could see where turmoil, arguments, and
there shouldn't be. Because, I mean, you know, I would gladly talk to some of these people. I would gladly have a calm conversation with people, but when they start screaming at me, you know, or something like that, and I was like, well, time out. I'm for gay marriage. Like, I am the most unracist person, but you
should have said it like Trump. Yeah. I am the most unracist person you've interviewed today.
Unracist.
How many black friends do you have, Greg? Tell us right now.
I have 7 black friends. No. What's the old phrase? If you can count how many black friends you you have how many black friends, but yeah, I have no idea. I don't see, but I don't think like that. I genuinely have to go because I don't think I don't make friends with people because their race or gender or whatever. You know, like we had a New Year's party here. We had different races. We had people who are gay. We had, you know, all different age groups. It's just you just be around good people. And why it's what I don't understand when people get so messed up. It's like, just be around good people. I don't care if, you know, just enough. Stop screaming at me. Stop telling me I'm racist or whatever, or Black Lives Matter or Asian Lives Matter. Just everybody shut up and just get along.
Hey, listen, it's a lot easier said than done. And it's you know, the core of what I want, I think, is for I think I've talked about it in the podcast before, but what I want to do in 2018 is really focus on kindness, right? And focus on in terms of just overall nicer and kinder to everybody that you come across. But we all know that the reality of it is when you become so passionate about something or a certain or something, and then you see opposition to it, see where that might brew into some type of strong feelings
Oh yeah, and that's fine. As
Of
long as we have
opposition.
a calm conversation about it, I don't have a. You can have a different view than I have, or even a different opinion, and I'm not going to try and change your opinion. I might show you a different, like, way, just like, like I said, with presidential stuff, or just like when people go, "Oh, Obama's the best president ever," and I'd be like, "Well, here's my side. Here's what happened to me." Okay, you take what like when he was trying to take all the federal funding away from all the police equipment because of the riots and stuff like that. I'm like, so because people thought when they were throwing Molotov cocktails at the cops, they're protecting themselves, but they look scary, so let's take all their equipment away. It's like, no. Why don't you go after the people who are really doing condemn the people who are doing something bad? You know what I mean? So, but even that's, see, I'm with you on that too. And that's my last department. They were upset with me for taking too long on calls. And that's what a lot of people understand. Like a lot of cops will cut them off because I think I work for the people, and I want to talk to people, and I want to, especially if they're having like a rough day or something like that. Cause I always tell like I was a field training officer. I train new recruits, and I always tell the recruits, you're talking to somebody on possibly the worst day of their life. So, treat them like you are. Yes, this might be the third rape report you take that day, but they got person. Yeah, exactly. This is the worst day of their life. So don't treat them like the third rape victim. Treat them like a person, So I mean,
wait, maybe we need all cops to be like you.
Yeah, and I want to get pulled over by you because then I think I can get away with not getting a ticket.
Man, yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, usually that's how it goes. Just be nice and just.
Here's a question for you in the chat, Greg. You're a faulty product and you return it. Faulty cops.
Hey,
right, and they go through the system, and most likely they'll get let go. It changes, so that's why all this news goes on about bad cops.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay.
Serve the care, not the person occupying it. Thank you for your service, Craig.
Whoever that Craig guy is,
Craig.
Make sure to thank him.
I love you, Craig.
You the man, Craig.
You go. We lost him.
Craig, are you still there?
No, he walked away.
Oh man.
There you go.
Wait, do you think he walked away because he's?
No, he said something. He was like looking away and he was talking to somebody and then he left.
Wait. A little crime right now or something? Like he's investigating?
He's going to be off camera so he can be gay and racist. So I got here's something that's in the news. What do you think about Aziz Ansari?
Oh god. So I glimpsed it and I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I don't care. Listen, hold on. I like how you like to talk about like media. You like to talk about like social media.
Okay, what do you want to talk about? I talk about Trump. You want to change the topic? I want to talk about popular culture. You want to change the topic?
No.
The only thing you want to talk about is cameras, yogas, and drones. What do you want to talk about?
Yogas or drones? No, the thing is, I'm telling you that I was like, I saw this thing on Aziz. I'm like, all right, so go ahead, tell us about Aziz.
Oh, the rape thing?
Yeah, I always ask you, and then you never give an answer, and then you push it back. Greg, why don't you talk about what you think, or what's going on there?
Well, see, from what the story that I heard was, he brought some girl back to, we're talking about the same thing, we talked some girl back to his room. They did some oral stuff together, and then he wanted to have sex and she didn't want to have sex. And then, she said she felt uncomfortable and then she left. But then all of a sudden she said, well, she felt like he sexually assaulted her because she felt uncomfortable. It's like,
it's like you went back to his place. I mean, maybe say no.
Yeah, I mean, he brought out a condom. You
overpowering anybody.
No.
And
no.
You got
you
naked.
Don't think he can wreck a girl. Like if you
I mean, it's possible, but he's small.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. She has a choice not to go back to his place.
And yeah, but
she wasn't being manhandled and carried over her shoulder while she got knocked out with roofies.
She shouldn't feel like actually raped and like sexually harassed.
Yeah, but I think like she got naked. She gave him, you know, they did a lot of things. I think he even fingered her. Like, and you don't feel comfortable. Like, I don't know. What kind of? She says I was sending him signs, like my eyes, like.
That's one thing.
What do you think you're supposed to do? So you're on the girl side here. You think that Aziz is a rapist? That's what you're saying? Raped her and he made her feel uncomfortable because she reciprocated. She put stuff in her mouth.
Well,
she went back to his place.
Younger,
what do you think was
single times? You know, I can't say we've all been in that situation, but I guarantee you, what if we've all, you know, been with women, you know, gin with guys.
All had in our mouth. I've had many dicks in my mouth.
But you know, and we're like, we drive them home and everything's okay, and all of a sudden,
you drive them home
and says, I felt uncomfortable, and now you're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, you know, hey, can I take you out again or make you feel better? Is there anything I can do? And she's like, no, I felt uncomfortable. She wants to do a police report. You're like, what? No, like, what are you talking about? But you know, it's like. Okay, why didn't you say you felt?
I mean, honestly, like, so what does that mean now? You go on dates and it's like you go in for the kiss, but you're like, oh, you know what? Really kiss you? Like, I want to make sure you're comfortable in the situation before I do that.
What is the protocol for like advances? Yeah, that is. I think that needs to be addressed, especially like in today's sensitive.
I don't think so.
You're so manly.
Nowadays with people dating and they are using Tinder and they're chatting in the chat beforehand. So now when you go on the date, it's like, I have proof. Look, we chatted. This is what that bitch said.
That's still not enough. I mean, I've had that where, you know, guys will say, well, hey, listen, she said, you know, I was like, dude, I don't care if she sent you 300 nudes and said she wanted to do everything under the sun. If she said no, she said no. I don't care what happened before that. Those text messages, yes, it shows a pattern of flirting, but that to me has nothing to do with an actual event. You have to be like, you know, I've talked to plenty of girls who said they were assaulted or raped or something like that, and I'm like, oh, did you say no? Well, no. Okay, did you say get off me? Well, no, but. I mean, I didn't feel like I wanted it. I was like, okay, well, did you say anything to the guy? Because, like, you're about to ruin this guy's life. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, you know. So, you know, if you're genuinely raped or something like that, then absolutely. But some of these people, I think they're only coming forward now because of I think the only reason this girl said anything is because he's famous. I don't think it was any one of us. She would,
yeah, right. If it was any one of us, it wouldn't. Yeah.
Well,
she said she came out because at the Golden Globe show, it was, you know, the Me Too movement. He had the Time's Up pin.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she felt like, you know, oh, you're trying to support this movement, but you're part of it, and that's why she said she felt she had to come out.
Well,
another comment in here: women need to take responsibility for their actions.
Well,
yes,
a little insensitive, but yeah,
yeah.
Sounds like it's coming from a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
No, but you know, you know, that doesn't mean that if you are wearing a skirt and going for a run at night, that means okay. That's, you know, I don't think that. But, you know, I agree.
No, but, you know, what's funny is all these movie stars talking about this Me Too stuff. And meanwhile, Harvey Weinstein, hello. You've got Roman Polanski admitted to raping a 13-year-old girl. And they all stood up and clapped when he got his award a few years ago. I mean, give me a break. And he got the award after he admitted raping a 13-year-old. So I don't want to hear from any of them. I literally do not want to hear anything about Me Too and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to hear it, you know. Because, you know,
we got our discussion.
Victims out there, you know what I mean? And they need help, and not these people are just trying to whatever. They're trying to get another movie because so they could look cool and be Me Too.
Like, how do you differentiate the not the real ones, right?
Well, usually you just got to talk to them, and that's the thing. You got to take case by case basis. You know, that's why you need investigator instead of just blowing it up in the media. You go, oh, okay, everybody slow down. Let's figure out what actually happened here. You know, because I mean, like when I go to sexual assaults, I ask very specific questions. I've been there where they never even had their clothes off, and this girl's screaming that he raped me, and I'm like, do you know what that word means? Like, like, no. And they're like, you're not going to do anything? I was like, I'll take an information report, but he didn't rape you. You guys were like halfway across the room from each other. I don't care what he looked at. You know what I mean?
Did you hear about the 11-year-old that, you know, she wears a hijab, you know, the cloth on the head?
Oh, a fake story.
It was a fake story. She said that trying to cut it off with scissors.
Yeah.
So she reported it, got all this coverage. What was it, Canada? I'm not sure where it was, but
it was Canada.
It's investigated, and then a few days later, they found out it was fake. The girl was lying. I don't know if they
have
let
the video of her talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know if they let it go because she's a minor, but it was just like, you know,
I think it's a little bit.
What happened?
Maybe she's a minor.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's like, where would you make this story from? You know, like.
Okay, so the cops go after this 11-year-old girl for making up a story about a hijab. Can you imagine? There's not a nobody's going to want to sign that report. You know, because they're going to be crucified. So, no, you get, you know. But I mean, but unfortunately, it detracts from the real victims out there. I mean, that stuff does happen. And these people who make this stuff up and make everybody look bad, it's just not good for anybody. You know, that's just my opinion. Because it, you know, unfortunately, yes, racism exists, but not to the. Don't go looking for it.
Who's that?
Hey,
that's Greg. Say hi, Greg. Say hi, Greg. My daughter just got home, so probably should wrap it up soon. I know one thing too I wanted to bring up too long, but all of us here, we're all into fitness.
Yep.
So I thought we could talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
You know, what's maybe what's your routine? I know you're a cop, you know, maybe you got that training, you got that train shirt on. Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your routine?
Well, I usually mix in you know, weights, but I also do a lot of plyos and stuff like that. And I try not to have too much rest period in between. Obviously to keep my metabolism up, but also to keep my, you know, my cardio up, because I could tell you what, you know, when I looked the best and when I went to SWAT tryouts and I did the obstacle course, I was smoked halfway through and I was like, oh my God, I can't do it anymore. And they were like, yeah, all those big muscles really helped you, didn't they? And right then and there, I changed my workouts up. I did a lot more, you know, functional.
I know exactly what you're saying. It's different kind of workouts. It's like all these guys with big muscles getting tired. Yeah. It's different. And I mean, growing older too, it's getting a little bit harder. So I understand it's not about how much weight you can lift now. It's about your stamina and functional movements and stuff.
Now, if you're doing a contest or something like
that was a very important snap. No, do you do yoga?
I want to I just started like a couple months ago, a little bit here and there. And my now ex-girlfriend, she I said I wanted to do it to stretch a little more because, but
what kind of yoga?
I have no idea. She just showed me some moves and we just kind of did it in the living room, you know, but,
right.
I just I wanted my, mobility to be a little better than it was. So she's like, why don't you try yoga? And I was like, let's do it. I'll tell you what, it wasn't easy. You know, a lot of people, you know, like, oh, you know, it's not exercise. I'm like, I don't know. No. Standing in one spot for a long time and holding it, you can definitely.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not just holding it. It's not. Wait, are we muting?
No, not now. Oh. It's blinking when it's muted.
So it's not just holding it because in that stillness, but then when you really evaluate that stillness and what it means, and then you figure out the form of how to do it. So something as simple as like a downward dog, right? Think you just put your butt up in the air. But then when you realize what it really takes to do it and the whole entire purpose of that position and that pose, it becomes very difficult to the point where it's like, I can't even do it right.
Right.
All the poses that I thought was doing, like I thought I was doing right, you know, something as simple as just doing like this, like let's just say wear 1 or 2, and then you go to realize like, oh, you know what, you are not doing it to the best ability because your hips could be different, your alignment could be different, you could be taller, you could always be taller, you could always stretch more, you know, there's so many variables to it. So yeah, I really do like yoga for what it could do for you both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And but I don't know, I'm getting too old for weights now, man. I only work out like 3 days a week at best in terms of weights. My joints can't really handle it. I don't know, do you have any injuries?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've always had bad joints, shoulders and knees and all that stuff. My knees are my worst. I definitely don't go heavy on legs anymore. It doesn't help me. You know, when I used to do all the heavy squats and the leg machine and all that kind of stuff, the leg press, it was more for my ego. It really didn't help me to do anything. Now like I do, you know, if I'll do box jumps and a lot of air squats and that kind of stuff and kettlebells, that kind of stuff helps me way more than anything else, you know, just to get the lactic acid out. You know, because I'll have to do like, you know, like I said, when I was in SWAT.
What do you gotta get the lactating out?
Yeah, lactating. You know, when they have to carry other guys and stuff like that. And yeah, that was really what I use a lot of my legs for. And just
wait.
And, what's that?
You're carrying guy, like you're lifting.
Let's not go there. We're trying to like pry for like silly jokes.
No,
I'm having more people come over, so we should probably start to. Is there anything else you wanted to say? We're probably going to end this now. Thanks for coming on and joining us, Greg. We'll have you back sometime soon.
Can you give him a chance to talk, man?
Okay, and that's it.
You're like, do you have anything else to say? So we're going to have you back soon.
Last word.
We'll see, man. I might be up soon, so.
Coming back up.
We'll see. I got some stuff in the works right now, and
that's the Donald Trump answer. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched, but yeah, I might be moving back. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hey, you're welcome here, man. I need PBA cards.
Yeah,
we like police here.
Good.
No, but that'd be cool if you come back.
Yeah, I miss you guys. So yeah, we'll see.
Good to see you. Can't wait for you to come back.
Thanks for your time and being on the show.
Thanks for listening. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.